Welcome to Lagniappe, a program about events, issues, and people. I'm Cory, Crowe. I'm joined today by Frank Hamrick from Louisiana Tech, a professor and the arts area, and also MFA candidate Mary Taylor Carwile. Welcome. Thank you both for being with us today on Lagniappe. It's good to have you.
Thank you.
Let me start with you, Frank. I want to ask a little bit about an MFA. Folks may hear the term and may not know what an MFA degree is. What is it that you do with an MFA?
So an MFA is Master of Fine Arts. So it's a terminal degree in the visual arts field of graphic design, photography, your traditional studio arts like drawing, painting, ceramics, sculpture, illustration, printmaking, things like that. And so it is the degree that is necessary to teach at the collegiate level.
And you brought with you today Mary Taylor Carwile. Mary Taylor, where are you from?
Hi, I was born in Houston, but I grew up in Ruston.
You grew up in Ruston and you stayed there, and you're working on your degree, your terminal degree, with an MFA. What I just want to ask you, you mentioned all the different areas, photography and art and painting and illustration. What area do you specialize in?
Sure. So my concentration is in graphic design. So that is what I've been studying for the past 3 years in the program.
So you've got a big event coming up, Frank, called Being Here, Places, Prisons, and Paths. And you'll be showcasing the works of Mary Taylor and Samuel Wakefield and Paul Clifford Wolfe. Tell me a little bit about this exhibition going on through April, the 16th through the 23rd, and you've got a big reception to kind of get the thing kicked off. Tell me about this event.
So when a thesis candidate in the MFA program is coming to the end, they have to give a public lecture about their research as well as a visual component to share with the public of what they have been working on over the past 3 years. So Mary Taylor, Paul, and Sam will all give brief lectures at 5 p.m. next Tuesday on April 16th, where they will present their research and answer any questions the public may have. And then we will move into the gallery where they will present to the public their visual research component.
All this going on in the Bethea and Moffett galleries at the F.J. Taylor Visual Arts Center. Mary Taylor, I want to ask you a little bit about your thesis research. All right, you've been working on this project for 3 years. What is your area all about?
Sure. So my area of research centers around third places, and people may or may not be familiar with that term. So simply put, a third place is an informal public setting. So first places are home, second places are work, and third places could be like a cafe, a library, or a park. So it's really about raising awareness of utilizing third places.
Now, one of the things we were talking off air just a minute ago, and you mentioned that people changed a lot in the pandemic. And I guess thinking about it now, the last 3 years, you were caught up in the middle of all of that. How did that change those third places, and how did that change your research over the last few years?
Of course. So, yes, during the pandemic, we were not going out of our homes. We were working from home. And a lot of people have continued that. Even though we're able to go out now, that sense of community has been lessened. And there are negative side effects like social isolation and loneliness. Those have really been on the rise in recent years, and they've not really swung back up since the pandemic has been over. So going out into these third places and having the opportunity to connect with others just in an informal and casual way is really, really beneficial for your health.
You're giving that talk April 16th, and then your works will be exhibited. Mm-hmm. Tell me about your works. What if I came visually describe it to me? What would I see?
Sure. So my concentration is graphic design. So you are actually going to see a lot of type-heavy work. So we're learning about the topic, and that's being, shown in graphic design posters and other visual kind of banners out in the space. So you'll see a lot of type, a lot of color, as well as some digital prototypes of how people can find nearby third places in their area.
You brought your professor, Frank Hamrick, with you. Frank, you've got a couple of other people that will be exhibiting their works during this show. Tell me about the other folks.
So as Mary Taylor said, she's working in graphic design. We have two other concentrations in the program, photography and studio art. So Paul Wolfe is working in photography and a little bit of video. His project deals with how if someone has a learning disability or a chronic illness, how that can affect their career paths in life. And so it stems from a family history that a lot of the men in his life, especially his grandfather and that generation, were sailors and merchant marines and fishermen. And that was something that he wanted to pursue himself but could not because of a chronic illness. And so when you have that sort of example put before you in your family history and you're not able to pursue that yourself, it can be kind of frustrating. And so he's made a project that visually addresses that and is hopefully accessible to other people who have maybe had one obstacle or another in their life that impacts what they are able or unable to do. And so he's addressing that. Sam Wakefield is making work that deals in digital illustration, and one image in mind that I think about a lot is how we sometimes overcommit to different opportunities or obligations, and we get maybe stretched thin. And so he is making work about that visualizes how we maybe back ourselves into a corner.
It sounds like it's going to be a fun event and a big week of art. Tell me again, for folks to find out more about this event and more about what you've got going on over at the School of Design.
So they can look at design.latech.edu on the internet or on social media on Instagram at LaTechSOD.
And again, the Artist Talks, April 15th, 5 to 7 p.m., and the viewing April 16th through the 23rd at Louisiana Tech University School of Design, Bethea and Moffitt's galleries at the F.J. Taylor Visual Arts Center. You can find out more about this and other events by heading to our website, KEDM.org. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our videos on YouTube, and we're available on all the major podcast platforms.